Welcome back, Truth Seeker. In the headlines, it broke last night here in the US. It was already December 29th in Korea. But in the headlines, the big story, another tragic plane crash. We just got one on Christmas. Now here we are 4 days later, December 29th, and it was the 29th in Korea when the crash happened. And an even worse disaster with even more people dead. And again, around the holiday time, always so much death in the headlines around the holidays. And of course, a lot of people are traveling this time of year. No doubt these headlines are instilling fear in millions of people traveling. A lot of people already have anxiety around the time of flying in the air. You know, it's kind of an unnatural thing to do, even though it's pretty safe. I think it's statistically the safest form of travel, air flight. I know train is the least safe. Automobile's pretty high too. If I'm not mistaken, planes are the safest mode of travel, least likely to die. But at the same time, the scariest because you're so high up in the air, you're traveling at this rate of speed, very unnatural. So again, just adding to that phobia, stories like this. And what jumps out about this story is how it's happened 49 years to the day of the LaGuardia airport bombing, which is still one of the greatest unsolved mysteries. And I want to revisit what this date has to do with events similar to what's unfolding in the news. Again, if you're new here, we talk a lot about 201, the plane crash that just happened, blamed on Russia on Christmas. The founder of that company, he had a name gematria of 201. 201 is this very special number in this Kabbalistic code of letters and numbers. Again, it represents light and an enlightenment, and it's used by the Illuminati, which was founded by a Jesuit, Adam Weishaupt. Again, in the practice of coding numbers into words, Order of Illuminati equals 201, like the Jesuit order equals 201. Jewish mysticism equates to 201. And again, in Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah, this number has to do with being in the light, being in the know, having the knowledge. And, you think about things like 9/11, planes were involved in that, more plane phobia about how two towers became zero before they became one. Again, LaGuardia was bombed on this date, 1229, 1229, the 201st prime, 49 years ago today. They still say it's an unsolved mystery, but we're going to look at the parallels between these two incidents. One's a bombing, and this one's a plane exploding. Both mass casualty events with a lot of parallels. So let's go through this piece by piece. And then we're also going to address a troll who's streaming right now saying, why didn't we predict this? Again, I mean, just total lame troll, but we're going to go on there and put them in their place again. I tuned in for a little bit. Of course, nothing but lies and slanders going on over there. Anyhow, this story happens on the 29th. The airline Jeju Air equates to 29, and this airline is 19 years old. We just talked about how Azerbaijani Airlines, or however you say the one that crashed there today, I have trouble with that name, but how they had a nearly identical plane crash almost 19 years to the day, December 23rd, 2005, departing from the same airport, crashing near the same location, almost 19 years to the day. This airline was established in 2005. Again, the moon is on a 19-year cycle. You see 19 used ritualistically in sync with this time sync that goes with the moon. The moon, again, is on a 19-year cycle. Every 19 years, the moon appears in the same place in the sky that it was 19 years earlier. Of course, just 9/11, which you brought up, they had to tell you it was 19 hijackers. And remember, the Quran code says that the Quran is centered on 19, and it was discovered in 1968, the same year World Trade Center construction began, and 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. But again, the point is ritualism and numbers. So Jeju Air, the 19-year-old airline, has this tragedy, their worst tragedy as an airline. They hadn't had any crashes before. Years ago, they had a runway incident where the plane went off the runway, but nobody was killed. So this is the deadliest incident for this airline on the 29th of December. And, just to go back to what we were talking about the other day before I make this next point, for years I've talked about plane crashes in 43. This latest incident came 43 days after the Superior General's birthday on Christmas, when plane crash equates to 43, and it happened on the 43rd parallel. And just days before this, we were talking about the incident in Buffalo, which was the worst plane disaster since the one in Buffalo on the 43rd day of the year on the 43rd parallel, which that year was also a date with 43 numerology. And again, for years, we've talked about plane crashes in 43. I bring it up because now we're in South Korea. Remember, South Korea has the same gematria as plane crash, 43 forwards, 56 in reverse. And remember this, Azerbaijani Airlines, the first ever plane. Oh, and by the way, this airline used to be Aeroflot, the one that crashed on Christmas with 38 reported dead on Christmas. But again, the first ever incident this airline had with a crash was flight A56. So first one, A56. Now, years later, this one synced with the Superior General. Remember, Society of Jesus equates to 56. That's the Jesuits, and their leaders Arturo Sosa. And the reason I always point out the connection with the Jesuits is because, again, they gave us the language and the calendar, and they are pulling the strings on the stuff that we see in the news day after day, undoubtedly. So, again, South Korea's got the numbers. And, again, we're getting to the LaGuardia point. But notice, this airline that crashed, their full company name is Jeju Air Company Ltd, and that's how they write it. That's not me abbreviating it and mixing it up. That's how they report it as a company. Their company name, 47. This incident came 47 days after the Superior General's birthday, obviously 4 days after the Christmas one. And let's not forget, 4 is the number from the Far East associated with death over in these Asian nations. So 4 days later, an even more deadly story. Several headlines carried it like this last night, at least 47 dead. They're reporting this for a period of time. The 181 people on the plane is also interesting because that's the 42nd prime. Of course, Jesuit equals 42. We're talking about this ritual synced with the leader of the Jesuits. And again, here it is, just like exactly how the company name is written, Jeju Air Co. Ltd. And you know what else to think about? This is Korea, right? They just released the new Squid Games. You don't know what Squid Games is about, Korean show about some Illuminati types that have access to all these people's financial data. So they go out and they target these desperate people who have major financial problems, offer them a chance to play in a game where they can repair their financial situation by winning the game and becoming a billionaire, essentially. And what they don't realize is that if you lose the game, you die. And there's only one winner out of a group of 500 and some. And remember, in the very first scene in Squid Game, the original season, where they learn about how deadly this game is, the scene, there's 500 and some people. And then after the first game, 300 and some are killed, and it goes down to 201 remaining. And somebody texted me last night about the new season. I had to verify it, and it's true. In this season, what they do is after they play the first 2 games, 201 people have been killed. So they paid tribute to 201 in season 2 as well. So again, this point about 201 and today being 1229, where 1229 is the 201st prime, this Illuminati number. Again, it's here in this deadly incident, and it's in both seasons of Squid Game, set in Korea. All right. So yes, this airline established January 25th, 19 years ago, 2005. It will turn 20 next month. And again, their incidents, August 12th, 2007, ran off the runway, said 74 passengers were on board. We'll come back to that 74, just another hallmark number. In March of 22 and 3/22, their flights were halted for being in violation. And now this, the deadly crash. Oh, I just got that detail that they're reporting that this happened at 9:07 a.m. local time. I almost overlooked that, you guys. 9:07 a.m. Hello. Look at plane crash. Most simple cipher, 97. Again, if you're new here, these are the 4 base ciphers of the English language. The alphabetic order, A is 1 up to Z is 26. The alphabetic order with numerology, where South Korea is also 46, as we looked at. The reverse alphabetic order, running Z as 1 back to A is 26, and then the reverse alphabetic order with numerology applied. So just intuitive ciphers, doing the same thing forwards and backwards. Again, plane crash, also 56. just like South Korea, like what we just talked about with the other airlines now having their 43 and 56 rituals and their crash incidents. But yeah, 9:07 a.m. And hold on, I want to see if other people are reporting that or just Wiki, because Wikipedia will literally, whoever runs Wikipedia is very familiar with this gematria code. They're constantly manipulating information and making it perfectly aligned by the numbers. And for weeks, they've been begging for money. I honestly wish Wikipedia would just disappear from the internet. Anyone who donates to Wikipedia is a fool. That is not an authentic source of information. I use it because it's the thing that everybody goes to, but Wikipedia is so highly manipulated and constantly changing dates in history, falsifying history. It's like an Orwellian thing. Nobody needs to donate any money to Wikipedia. It'd be better if it just disappeared from the internet and it wasn't the top thing of every Google search, and we had things like Encyclopedia Britannica, etc., other sources, because Wikipedia is not a true source of information. But I want to see if anybody else is reporting 9:07 a.m. Yonhap News Agency did report that. And I'm not saying everything on Wikipedia is false. I'm just saying they manipulate information. LiveMint.com reported that. So, okay, it is being reported by other sources. Those aren't necessarily mainstream sources, but it does make sense. Plane crash 97. We've seen that one in plane crash rituals before as well. And keep in mind, it's a fateful number because death equals 97 and 25. 97 is the 25th prime number. Death is 38, like Christmas, which is on the 25th. And we're going to come up to the LaGuardia thing in a moment where they said 74 people were killed, but LaGuardia has the 38 connection as well. And this airline also has the 74 connection, as we'll get to. I mean, because look at it. The Jeju Air, where 74 passengers. Again, if you guys are new here, we talk about this all the time. 74 and killing. 3 of the first 5 U.S. presidents died on 7-4. Killing itself equals 74, like stabbing, like the 74th day of the year. Remember the stabbing of Caesar, et cetera, et cetera. But even their first incident, they had to report 74. And again, this is the point of learning this knowledge of gematria, which equals 74. Again, gematria, the killing name. Look up that song. English is 74. They say gematria is about energy, 74. Again, stories of death manipulate people's energy. We talked about how these stories make people anxious in this traveling season. How many people do you think were in the airport or getting ready to fly right after Christmas, or even right now after their Christmas trip to fly back home for the New Year, maybe going somewhere for the New Year, maybe even going to New York? How many people right now do you think these stories are disturbing and making them extra anxious? Maybe they're going out and buying some anxiety pills at the pharmacy. Again, fear makes people go out and buy things. Fear sells. That's another big component of why they use fear. It sells their agendas, but it also causes people to go out and buy stuff. Look at how many people in the truth community have, before any of their videos, ran all these things to sell you basement snacks, all this crap that you probably don't need. How many people have bought the basement snack? What basement snacks are that stuff that, you know, comes in a tub and you pay a whole ton of money for it in case it's the end of the world. But I mean, really, are you even going to be able to use that in the end of the world scenario? You don't have any power to cook it unless you're stocked up on propane. And anyway, just fear sells. That's part of the reason they do this. Back to your regularly scheduled programming where it's mostly all fear, death, anxiety. This could get you, that could get you. But all right, another point I want to make about this airport where this happened. Muan International Airport equates to 118, like death. Okay, we see this all the time. And do you want to guess what day this airport opened? If you guessed November 8th or January 18th, you wouldn't have been far off, but November 8th is what day it opened. 118. And I'll take you back in time. 2018, November 8th, worst wildfire in California history, Paradise, California, 118. That day, part of Los Angeles also burned up. Los Angeles, California, 118. Again, LA's on the 118th Meridian West, and its establishment date, September 4th, leaves 118 days left in the year. Big number with LA in history. But yeah, this airport equals 118, like death, familiar number around death rituals, and it literally opened on November 8th. The 17 years ago is a bit interesting because, you know, Kill's got the 17 connection. Asian has the 17 connection. Obviously, we're in an Asian nation. You know, some things could be coincidental. The airplane is on the 34th parallel north. Fateful number as well is 34. We just talked about how the Christmas crash was 79 days after Putin's birthday, and they blamed Putin in Russia. And again, it was synced up with the leader of the Jesuits. Society of Jesus is also 79. But here's what, when I first heard this story, I thought, man, 1229. I said, that's the day of the LaGuardia bombing. And of course, 1229 with the 201 connection, when we're always pointing out the 201s. Again, we just went back and looked at the airline the other day, who founded the airline the other day that had the ritual perfectly synced with the leader of the Jesuits. And it was Vagif Siddiqui 201, and also 150, Illuminati 150, Order of Illuminati 201, Heliocentrism 150 and 201, which says the sun's the center of it all. And again, these are big numbers with the Catholics and the Illuminati, which was founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. And this happened on the birthday of the sun, 1225. Again, they say the sun's 150 million kilometers away on average. Again, these heliocentric model, which has those same numbers, 150 and 201, was agreed to in the 16th century, the century of the Jesuits. But coming back to what happened here, Muan, the name of this airport, 49. 49 years ago was the LaGuardia bombing. And 49 is not an arbitrary number. It's the 33rd composite number. Remember, Scottish equals 49. The Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, the rites were written by Jesuit priests. The highest degree of the Scottish Rite is 33. So again, Scottish 49, Masonry 33, Secrecy 33, Order 33. Again, the Jesuits, the Masons worldwide, operating in places like Korea. Keep in mind, New York is also 33, since LaGuardia was bombed in New York. 49, the 33rd composite number. And again, the LaGuardia bombing, they say to this day, let me just read this blurb right here, and let's just look at it again. On December 29th, 1975, a bomb detonated near the TWA baggage reclaim. And remember how they would do the TWA flight years later before 9/11. And a lot of people came out and said they saw something that looked like a missile tracking towards the plane with the mystery crash. And to this day, that's still a big mystery cover-up story. This is what supposedly happened. But a lot of eyewitnesses said that they saw something that looked like a missile that took that plane down. That was also TWA, Trans World Airlines. A bomb detonated near the TWA baggage reclaim terminal at LaGuardia Airport in New York City. The blast killed 11 people and seriously injured 74. I misspoke. New York's the 11th state, but again, 74 injured at LaGuardia. Again, LaGuardia equals 74 and 38. Both of those numbers in numerology are 11. 7 plus 4 is 11. 3 plus 8 is 11. Killing 74, 38. Just saw the 38 on Christmas with the other plane crash. And to date, the crime remains unsolved. Investigators theorized it might have been committed by anti-Yugoslavia Croatians or agents of the Yugoslavian government itself, intending to discredit the opposition. The attack occurred during a 4-year period of heightened terrorism within the United States. Again, 4 in death. Here we are 4 days after the Christmas crash. 1975 was especially volatile, with bombings in New York City and Washington, D.C., and 2 assassination attempts on President Gerald Ford, the 38th president. We just saw the first black president, Time Warner, die exactly 38 weeks after his birthday, and then Wikipedia updated his image with him shaking hands with Gerald Ford, who brought him into the federal government. The LaGuardia airport bombing was at the time the deadliest attack by a non-state actor to occur on American soil since the 1927 Bath School bombing attacks. And it's like, how's that even true if they don't know who did it? They don't know who did it, but then they have all this detail? It doesn't even make sense. Which killed 45 people. It was the deadliest attack in New York City since the 1920 Wall Street bombing, which killed 38 people. Isn't it funny how it's just the same numbers over and over throughout history? What's the woman's name? Katie, the thing where 38 people, supposedly 38 people watched a murder, but no one called the police. Is it Katie Genovese? Is that her name? But years later, that man got asked, he said, well, wait a minute. He got asked on live TV, the guy who wrote that story, said, well, wait a minute. Somebody said, hold on now. How do you know 38 people didn't call the police that witnessed the murder? And do you know what that guy did when he was asked that question? Look it up. He walked off the set of the interview. And again, I mean, how many times are we educated about this? Death 38, murder 38, killing 38, RIP 38. Again, that guy didn't want to answer the question. Remember, this nation's killing department, the Pentagon, equals 38, and it's on the 38th parallel. Remember, they sent troops needlessly over to Vietnam on March 8th, and most of them were darker complected people. Just like what was in the headlines the other day? Guy breaks Mike Tyson's boxing record, knockout record of 38 years and drops dead days later. First black CEO of Time Warner, dead exactly 38 weeks after his birthday, et cetera, et cetera. And again, these countries where this stuff happens a lot of times, just darker complected people getting picked on. And again, they said that bomb exploded at approximately 6:33 p.m. 6:33 p.m. But here we go again. Killing 74, Jeju Air 74, LaGuardia's 74. You know what? While we're at it, I gotta check something real quick. 74 is which composite number? Curious about that one. The 52nd composite number. Okay, interesting. Gotta think more about that. We're starting to pay more attention to composite numbers these days, and we're realizing there's definitely something to that. But yeah, just recurring numbers and patterns. And the thing about 74 and 33, guys, if you're new here, again, they say Jesus crucified on the cross at 33. That's the common belief, even though nowhere in the Bible does it say his age. Just remember, Jesus is 74. We're talking about the Society of Jesus. Cross, 74. Messiah, 74. Gospel, 74. Parables, 74. You know, out of the 50 states, there's only one that equals 74. Oregon. Oregon's the 74 state in the most simple cipher. And it's even abbreviated OR, which is 33. 33rd state in order of statehood. So, yeah, you just got to say, what are the odds? What are the odds? And here, just because this stream is out here trolling again, I'm going to switch the audio settings. We're going to go on there and put these people in their place again. And the point is, this is a troll channel with a bunch of goons. Who knows what it really is? But I just want you to see how disingenuous people act with the information. But watch, you're going to see that he's an obvious liar and fraud, but you're also going to see the way how he kind of like shrugs it off and just moves on and tries to change the topic. Just watch how a disingenuous person works. And the point to understand is this is how a lot of human beings are. When you engage with people like this, the point is it's better to just move on. The reason I'm going to engage again, even though I don't want to do this, is because they're going on and putting out major falsehoods and slanders and, you know, trying to put shame on my name when really people should be doing just the opposite. They should be showing respect and help getting out the knowledge that we're talking about because it would help heal the world. We're trying to expose real evil, real tyranny, real deception, how mainstream propaganda is used to negatively impact people. And then you got goons like this going out and essentially protecting the liars and trying to make the truth tellers look like they're the liars by telling nothing but lies about them and bringing on other liars and criminals to do their bidding for them, which is what's going on that stream over there today. But hold on, I got to flip around the audio settings here. All right, hold on. I got to disconnect this. All right, audio is going to sound not as clear. Okay. All right, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time with this, but
Freemasons, they're cool.
Start your own bank. Start your own bank.
Excuse me?
I was addressing the arguments that are given to every other people. Start your own bank. If you believe that the fucking Jews control 99% of finance, man, shit, I wouldn't even want to put my bank. If the Jews are these boogeymen, these mustache strolling boogeymen, I wouldn't even want to put my money or any other fucking investment or asset with these people then. If they're so bad, start your own fucking bank. I don't get it. Why does everything work in the reverse with other groups of people? Start your own bank. Why do you want to put your money with these Jews who are nefarious and what is it called? Question the powder. They do what do they say? What do these whites say that the Jews do now? They do what do they say?
Like numerology, Kabbalah, usury, like
usury.
Interest, usury.
Yeah, I don't think it's that easy to start your own bank.
Oh, look, it's
Fuck that. If black people are told to start their own shit and do their own thing, the same thing could be said about whites now. If the Jews are doing all these fucking things, start your own bank. Y'all whites, man, y'all gotta get over yourselves too, man, to be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Someone's got an echo.
All right, go ahead, Chief. You got the floor. You're on mute, buddy. Go ahead.
Yeah, unions are communist. That's a communist idea. They're Freemasons. They're horrible for the United States of America. We should get rid of them all. I understand we cannot compete if the unions keep on jacking up the pay rate of the common factory workers and the electricians. Here's an electrician. The gross pay for an electrician in Kansas City is over $100 an hour plus benefits. And who pays for that? The consumer. We do. So if you want to keep on not competing in the world climate, keep on unionizing, because you're just destroying America.
Bob with the $10 super chat. White insecurity is there, but it's not the driving factor. It's coming from an American mentality. If these visas were issued to Europeans, the rage would still be there, just not this vitriolic. I don't know. What do you guys agree with that? I disagree with that. I think that if these were beautiful, blonde-haired, Swedish white women coming over here, wouldn't nobody care. I'm going to be honest with you.
That's just a fact. The one world order is coming soon. That's why Trump wants to join Canada and Mexico together. And the Bible is accurate. It's very simple. Give your life to Jesus.
Rich, what's up, man? You are on mute, Rich.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Is there any particular topic, or I see the title. You guys said, why didn't Zach Hubbard Gematria predict this South Korean plane crash?
Yeah, man. Why didn't y'all predict that goddamn plane crash, man?
I mean,
180 Chinese or South Koreans died, man. Look at that.
So you're saying why we didn't predict it? We predicted a lot of stuff. We predicted a lot of things.
No, bro. Why didn't you predict that? That's what I'm asking about. I'm not asking about 5 years ago. I'm not.
Hold on, Rich. Just stop. CT, why are you ignoring me when your thumbnail's about me? That shows you what a punk you are right there.
Come on. He was next, though.
No, he wasn't. He just hopped on.
He asked the question, though, Zach.
But Zach, Rich did.
CT, do me a favor and show your man. Get all these scrubs off your panel except for Rich and the guy who has my face on there, and just have us four up real quick.
Okay, I got you. Hang tight, James. Hang tight, Chief. Questions upon hang tight. Hang tight, 111 theory. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is why you're a disingenuous human being. I don't like liars. You're a liar. So yesterday you had Elohim on and you asked him who's going to win the football games. He told you Chargers and Bengals, and he called that before the games began. Did they both win?
I don't know, Zach. I wasn't.
Why don't you look up the box score and see who won? Because see, here's the thing.
The Chargers is going to be 7-3 first quarter. Now,
bro.
He said
that score would be 7-3.
That's Greg, the one that used to be begging anyway.
Oh, okay. Hold on. No, he told you that the Chargers would become 5-3 away because both Patriots and Los Angeles equal 53, and he showed you that Burrow would stay on 32 losses because Denver and Broncos equal 32, He took it right from my notes. We also had Hubbard to get 3 touchdowns, which was a nice payout. But again, you're sitting here going, we don't want things from 5 years ago. You literally had somebody on your stream yesterday give you the picks for the games. Maybe you were too slow to grasp it. I did hear him say that he said he didn't like to pick the first quarter, but you were really pushing that. He gave you 7-3. It was a logical idea because Los Angeles and Patriots also equal 37. They won the first quarter 7-0. It's not like he was far off. The game, they were up 37-7 at one point in the game. See how your whole reaction is, though? You just said, hold on, you just said you want predictions.
Guess who was going to win the outcome?
Okay, you asked me the other day about the Toledo game. Hold on, CT.
I'm asking Elohim to give me the first quarter score to show how good the shit is.
And he explained to you why he liked both those teams to win. But hold on, CT. I want to make a point. This guy down here that has my face that says ex-Gematrian, ask him how many times he's been in jail in the last year. Look at his criminal rap sheet. And he's been on here just doing nothing but lying. Every single thing he said about me is a lie and a projection, but you're nodding your head to that. You're like, yeah. So CT, what you get down with is liars and criminals. You got, hold on.
How many people killed themselves because of you, Zach?
None.
Your buddies are
Who?
criminal too. You're criminal too.
You are too.
Hold on, but CT, give him the mute. We don't need to hear from the criminal weirdo. So you're getting down with criminals. Ask him how many times he's been in jail in the last year.
You advocate for suicide, Zachary.
Again.
Is it not a felony to
Wait, hold on.
Hold on. CT.
Is it not a felony to promote gambling in the state of Washington? Yes, it is.
Hey.
You want to come after me, Zach? I'll get the gambling on your bitch ass.
Here.
Hold on.
CT, the point is, see, you nod your head when people are lying to you like this, like you agree, yeah, okay, yeah, you're into all the lies. But then I come on and say facts and you're like back here like this, oh, like, I can't even remember that from yesterday. You're a fraud.
Why didn't this gematria prevent the South Korean?
You've been doing that.
So, CT, I answered this kind of question for you yesterday. I said the reason we can predict sports games is because there's recurring patterns. For example, Green Bay equals 41. That number plays with that team all the time. I don't know how to assign, like, okay, I suppose plane crash in 43 happens a lot. I pointed this out. You got another one in South Korea. South Korea equals 43 like plane crash. You can watch the video I just did on it. How this happened 19 years after their airline was established. Another familiar pattern we just talked about. How it's synced with the LaGuardia airport bombing of 1975. It's still an unsolved mystery to this day. LaGuardia was bombed on this day in history. There's all kinds of parallels with that. LaGuardia equals the name of this airline equals 74 equals killing. And I know I've taught you about 74 and killing. Again, Gematria shows you the recurring patterns in this ritualism. I told you there's a lot of death in the news around the time of the holidays. Think about all the people traveling and how much anxiety this creates. What do you think statistically worldwide this is going to up anxiety pill sales for people that are about to hop on a flight? I bet you it's a marginal bump and money's made. Fear sells.
Is your wife going to sell those pills?
Hey guys, real quick, let me read the super chat. Speak Radio with the $5 super chat. This generation of whites is about the sorriest group in history, full of excuses and playing the blame game. Y'all sound just like the FBA. Oh, Jesus. Go ahead, Zach. You got the floor, buddy.
So, but again, what I notice about you, CT, is when people are lying and slandering, that's when your head's nodding like, oh, yeah. And it's funny. Huh?
Real quick, Carol. Hey, real quick, Carol. I'm not going to say your last name. Carol, thank you so much for the cash app. I really appreciate that. Happy New Year to you as well. Oh, that's my Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead, Zach. You got the floor.
Okay, but again, CT, what you've demonstrated this last week is 2 days before Christmas, I told you about to watch out for 38 in death between now and New Year's. I said it happens all the time. And the next thing you know, 38 dead in a plane crash on Christmas. Next thing you know, boxer breaks Mike Tyson's 38-year-old record and drops dead days later. Next thing you know, the same day we talked about it, Richard Parsons is dead exactly 38 weeks after his birthday. And like I told you, they had to update his Wikipedia with him shaking hands with Gerald Ford, the 38th president. And again, you came back at me and you said, well, boxers die because they get hit in the head. I mean, that seems like a pretty lame response. This guy just set Mike Tyson's record. He didn't happen to drop dead at any other point in the year. Again, huh?
How about you and I box?
You're a little short guy too, Greg. You ain't got no reach. It's going to be like Lennox Lewis. It can be like Lennox Lewis. I got a long wingspan.
Go take care of that damn kid you got.
No, guys.
Hey, you're only 1 inch taller than me.
Guys.
You're like 5'5", Greg. Stop.
I'm 5'9", you dumb motherfucker.
He's the same size as Cuts.
Guys, listen. Guys. Come now, guys. Now, what I don't like over here is personal attacks. You don't have to talk about Zach's family. Don't do that. We're men. We can talk about each other. Zach, if you want to talk about his height, that's fine. But Rich, we are.
So here, CT, I just want to close out with this because you're a disingenuous person. You'll let scumbags come on here and lie about me all day and slander my thing, and you won't say nothing. You'll just let it go on unchecked. But CT, let's talk about something. You just said the other day you don't have $500 to your name, and you do pretty well here.
Not even 500 cents. Go ahead.
And I don't exactly know how that is because you do pretty well here on YouTube. You get a lot of cash apps. You're monetized. I know you're getting some decent ad revenue after all these streams that run all day. So you should have some money to your name. So again, CT, there's a lot of people who are broke, homeless, that came into this knowledge and learned how to multiply a dollar into $100, and they changed their life position. Another guy in our community. Hey, CT, another guy in our community last night just turned $1.50 into over $2,000.
Zach, do you probably give great financial advice? Possibly so. Do you give gambling advice? Possibly so. Zach, your mission statement that you said you were trying to save the world. Bro, why didn't you save 300 people this week?
Again, see, it's just such a corny thing to come back to.
It's not a corny argument. It's a dumb argument.
Stop. Hey, hang tight. Zach, why didn't you save? I don't give a fuck about no money. Well, I do, but Zach, why? I care about human beings. Why didn't you save 300 people, man?
Again, predicting plane flight crashes is not in the area of things that we do. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible, but this is not a logical use of the knowledge, and it shouldn't be an expectation that we should be able to call plane crashes. Now, we have saved a lot of lives. There's a lot of people that didn't go out and get that experimental pokey doke, and like I said, they don't have heart problems and worse. There's a lot of people who picked up on my knowledge, and you know what? Had more people gotten behind what we were talking about, maybe nobody would have fell for the agenda, because we were out there Friday the 13th, 2020, as Trump declared the national emergency, while you got your mega hat on, the father of the jab, who declared Operation Warp Speed two years to the day at Clade X.
So what the fuck are you talking about?
Huh?
Ex-Gematria. Hold on.
You're liking people jabs. So what are you talking about?
Ex-Gematria. Again, I told you, let's not talk about the man's wife, okay?
My bad.
No, that's okay. Hang tight. Zach, you got an echo too, by the way. Zach.
How bad is the echo?
It's not that bad, but I can still hear it. Zach, hear me out. I don't think you are a bad guy. But Zach, nobody told me not to take the jab. I just thought it was bullshit. YouTube, I gotta edit that part out. Zach, Gematria didn't have to tell me not to take that thing in the arm. I just want to know why you haven't used this Gematria to find these Jesuits who are attacking.
No, we have. The point is you're not listening. Again, who was the Jesuit that put on the pandemic simulation the same day the military world games began in Wuhan, China? Klaus Schwab.
Okay.
We told you this already. See, I heard you saying this earlier too. Like, who are these Jesuits? You said in your stream earlier today, Jesuits don't exist. That came out of your mouth. It was a Jesuit who simulated the pandemic, and he called it Event 201.
Jenny Rivera also died at age 43 in a plane crash for that 43.
There's a lot of them. Again, the military world games happened in Wuhan, happened the exact same day that Event 201 happened. Look into the original military world games. They were in 95, like how the Jesuits were created to counter the 95 Theses, in Italy, their home country, and look up their sponsorship for the military world games. Again, they're a military order. So these are major Jesuit fingerprints. And again, was it not a military agenda to rush out the jab? I mean, they all came from bases. So, again, you're saying that you said today there's no Jesuits. Remind me, the first governor to lock down a state in California was Gavin Newsom, correct? And where did he go to school?
Zach, could it be that a lot of schools in America are Jesuit universities?
No, they're not. A very small percentage. There's only 27. So hold on. Let's just go through it. So there's only, how many universities are in the country? How many universities are in the country?
Zach, there's probably 1,000.
Exactly. So is 27 out of 1,000 a lot?
No, it's not.
It's a small. Okay, so now let's go through it. Let's go through the probability. So the first mayor to deal with COVID was Jenny Durkin, Jesuit educated. Okay? And she just happened to be the 56th mayor of Seattle, like Gavin Newsom equals 56, like the name of the virus is 56. Would you agree that the 56th governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, kind of became like the father of America? He went to Fordham like Trump. Was he not like the father every morning on TV while his brother's on CNN, whose name also equals 56? Again, how much did we see of Andrew Cuomo in the time of the pandemic?
I don't know, Zach. A lot.
He was like the main guy on TV every day. Every day, national news, we had to hear from Andrew Cuomo, 56th governor of New York. And did Trump's Jesuit education start in Fordham in 1964, 56 years before 2020?
Yes, it did.
Does Anthony Fauci equal 56 in Gematria? Was he pretty much the father of the whole thing? And did he go to Jesuit Holy Cross?
Zach, can I make a deal with you, Zach?
You went to Regis too.
Zach,
Regis High School.
No, I don't want to make a deal. I want you to admit that your real name should be Chaotic Liar.
Okay, my name should be Chaotic Liar.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Zach, I want to make a deal with you. Can you hear me out? I'm gonna let this be the last stream I ever talk about Gematria.
Good, because I don't want to have to come back over here again. I don't want to have to come back over here.
Yep.
CT, see, I don't like what you do. You're a Please don't put her on here. Don't put her on here.
Why didn't you stay away yesterday?
Dude,
Why are you back?
Hold on.
Why are you here?
Why are you even back here?
Whoa, Gematria with Rich, hang tight. I keep telling you people, white women get special privileges over here.
I'm just saying, you promised us yesterday.
Don't backtalk Lindy, Rich. Let her speak. Go ahead, Lindy. You're a white woman. You can speak.
You're not the thing. You promised us yesterday. What are you doing back here?
Yeah.
And Zach, in all seriousness, I do want to ask you something you said yesterday that was interesting to me. You said yesterday that the FBI came after you or was coming after you?
I've had the FBI come out to my house multiple times, yes.
For what?
And by the way, the FBI has 56 branches.
For what? No.
Here, I'll tell you exactly for what. You can even watch the live stream where I called the FBI agent back the first time after he came to my house.
For what? Just say what it is.
You ask questions and then you don't let people talk. I'm telling you what they came to the house for. They came to my house the first time.
For what?
They came to my house the first time, August 21st, 2018, to falsely accuse me of saying something I'd never said, and I called him out there on the spot. I said, I've never said that in my life. Huh?
What did you say?
This is what they said. This is what the quote that they accused me of saying. They said, you said in a video, let's get all of our guns and kill all the Jews. And I laughed at him and I said, I've never said anything like that in my life. And he had his cell phone there, the agent, and he started playing with his phone. He goes, I have it here on my phone. I'm going to play it for you. I said, yeah, play it for me. And he sat there and he fiddled with his phone. I don't even know how much time passed. Just sitting there fiddling with his phone. And after a few minutes at least, I said, you don't have anything on your phone, do you? He goes, no, it's here. I said, okay. I said, you're not very organized then. After a while, he goes, you know what? I'm going to have to go back to my office. I think I misplaced the file. I said, you're not going to be back here because I never said that. And later that night, he sent me an email of the video that was from about 2 years earlier at the time. This is 2018. This is the first time they came to my house. They came to my house again this year, which I'll talk about in a second. But he sent me a video that was about 2 years old at the time. And what it was about was how humanity need to raise up and burn down this federal government because it's nothing but a terrorist organization. And for all you guys who don't know, the original definition of terrorism is government by intimidation. Now, as an American, you're allowed to say that we should burn down the Capitol. So they couldn't really do anything about that, but that was the video he sent me that night. So I was like, that's the real thing that they were out here for. And he tried to twist it into something, more condemning, because you can't say nothing about, the JEW people. But I had not said that, and I knew that. So the FBI literally came to my house to lie to me to see how I would react. But I'll tell you what was going on at that time. I'd lost, I don't know, probably 16 channels at that point. And for anyone who's ever lost channels, every time you create a new YouTube channel, if you want to have longer than 15-minute videos, you have to punch in a phone number. And I had used up all of the phone number. I pay for everybody's phone bill in my family, so I used everyone's number to create all these new accounts. but I didn't have any more phone numbers. So I could not create a new YouTube account from the start of 2018, about March 2018.
I know what you mean.
I'm telling you how this happened. So July 20 of 18, I moved. I moved from the Seattle area to Yakima, Washington, because Sweet Lady started school then. And I got a new phone number when I moved to Yakima. So I had a new number. So I used that and set up a YouTube account. And I was surprised because my YouTube channel was back on fire. I hadn't been on fire for a while during all the suppression, but I was getting 100,000 views real quick. I was blown away. And next thing you know, I got the FBI at my house intimidating me, and I felt that was connected. I was like, okay, I took a few minute break from YouTube because I couldn't make a channel. And now right when I start up, I got the FBI at my house falsely intimidating me. Now this year, funny enough, and this isn't a lie, it was 201 days after my birthday. It was February 7th of this year. I got the FBI coming here, and I couldn't believe what they were doing this time. This time they're at my house asking me about people's screen names in my live streams. Huh? No, I had the FBI come here and ask me about screen names of people who watch my channel. Going things like, do you know who this screen name is? Do you know about this screen name? And I was like, dude, I recognize these screen names in my channel, but I don't know these people. And what is this about? And he just kept going through this long list of names. I was like, listen, I don't know if these people are doing something nefarious I don't know about, but I said, I don't control the people who come into my live chat. And for people who want to go back and look, it was a few years ago that there was articles written that Google was proposing ideas of punishing channels for the people that post comments in their streams and under their videos. So I felt like it was something about this. I was like, are they trying to build some case against me through people that follow my work? And here was the other thing that was weird about it. That guy who you bring on here all the time, Cuts, a lot of the names they asked me about are the names that Cuts is blaming me for. Cuts is saying, like, I control these people and I make them do this. I don't tell anybody to do anything.
I had the authorities come to my house last year on my 144th day of my age, asking me about the same people. People keep saying that Aaron didn't call him. He did call him because the cop mentioned his name to me, if I know him.
And since Rich brings that up, this guy who's calling himself ex-Gematrian, him and Cuts did a live stream together calling the IRS on me, trying to get me in trouble with the IRS. I mean,
snitching, straight snitching.
I did call the IRS on you. But not,
you're right.
Here's the other thing you did. You called my wife's workplace multiple times pretending to be the FBI yourself.
No, I didn't.
Stop lying. Stop lying.
No, I pretend to be a student.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did, and I have it recorded.
Here, I know you and Cuts have uploaded your recordings.
Stop lying. More lying from Zachary K. Hubbard.
But here's the thing everybody should ask themselves.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, and again, oyster mouth. Come on, oyster mouth.
Huh?
Let me smash your fucking face in, you piece of shit. Lying sex
jack shit. Dude, stop.
Oh, I'll
let me read these super chats real quick. Hey guys, let me read these super chats real quick. Hang tight. First of all, Bob, Zach, what is 5'9" in Gematria? Get me with the $5 super chat. What has Zach done to fight the evil other than to enrich himself and convince his followers that they know?
A lot of people made a lot of money. I've made money.
Bob with the $2 super chat. Zach, is it possible that CT is paid by the Jesuits? Bob with the $2 super chat. He wants to say
echo. I can hear this shit.
It's Zach.
It's me because of the settings I have, so I can put this on my own channel.
And the Bosster with the $2 super chat. ChatGPT, when given his 2 books, AI admits he's real. Hey, Rich, real quick, just for future purposes, when a white woman is up here, they get priority. They are the queen of the universe, sir. So go ahead, sir. You got the floor. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, Zach.
Okay, well, CT, I would appreciate if you didn't do any more videos because what you're doing is undermining what's actual truth. Again, I challenge anyone who's a genuine person to show that what I'm doing is lying or fraudulent or a charlatan. Again, this panel is the disingenuous one. I just told you guys about 38 in death at this time of year, and there's been numerous examples since then, and you guys have shrugged your shoulders at all of them and gone, that's disingenuous.
Okay, Zach, we believe you.
And the other thing is, CT, is you just had Elohim, a young student. Now, Elohim will even tell you himself that he's not the best purveyor of this knowledge because he's new to it. But you know what? How do you get better at doing things? By doing them. So I commend Elohim for getting out there as a young man and doing his best. He'll get better with time. He used to drive me nuts 6 months ago. I was ready to kick him out of the community, but I call him the most improved Dakoter of the year. He's come a long way. Listen, he did give you both picks yesterday if you were to clean the wax out of yours, and he got them both right. And he specifically told you, we're not good at calling the exact quarter scores. That's a very difficult thing to do. But we are good at calling outcomes of games. And he gave them both to you.
Zach, today is going to be my last time covering Gematria.
I know you got to get back to the race baiting and, being the chaotic divider that you are, as you wear the real cult leader's hat, the orange overgrown Oompa Loompa, who will sell out America and usher in communism again, just as he did last time. And again, this whole thing about going after these groups of people when you don the mega hat, mega is the highest degree of the Church of Satan. And it is true that on the 45th birthday of the Church of Satan, Trump was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and Obama did tell the joke that night that Trump would become number 45, exactly 45 days before Trump's birthday. Everyone can look it up, April 30th, 2011. You can look it up. Mega's the highest degree of the Church of Satan. The first tenet of Satanism is to worship yourself, which is what Trump does. Again, you're literally part of a satanic cult like a lot of people are, and then you're calling us, the people exposing this evil, the cult. That's a very disingenuous thing to do too. So, CT, since you must have had time to look up that, I told you that about 2 months ago now, why are you still proud to wear a satanic cult leader's hat?
Zach, since we are kicking in the backs of whites today, I'm going to kick your back in right now.
You're not.
Zach, I haven't done it yet.
You can't.
Now,
you can't do it intellectually. You can't do it physically.
I'll let you talk, right?
Go ahead, but you can, here. I'm going to listen to you try. Okay, here, I'm going to sit back.
Okay. Zach, occasionally there are days where I will start at the 50-yard line and run a 4.440. Well, not a 4.440, but there are days where I will run at full speed and kick in the backs of whites. And I'm going to kick your white back in right now. Zach, Gematria is bullshit. But what you have is a very beautiful mind. Pause. You have a very beautiful mind. I think in another universe, you are a great mathematician at a prestigious university. You've solved the grand unification theory. You've done something. But in this timeline, you've used your brilliant mind, your brilliant analytical mind for Gematria. Hey, I'm not knocking. You have an ability to put numbers together very fast. You have the ability of gift of gab. You have the ability to speak at such a pace that keeps an audience engaged, even me. You have such an ability to keep an audience engaged. For some reason, you have the ability to have these kids who were born in these 19, 20-year-olds who have the attention span of a fly to even keep them engaged. But Zach, what you are suffering from, and what a lot of whites like you are suffering from, you have a white savior complex. Okay? And I've done stories about this. There was this white bitch that went over, remember this Rise Girl? White bitch went over into, I think it was Mozambique or something.
Oh, yeah,
Getting to be a doctor.
Giving medical care.
About 100 people. You would think that Interpol would have arrested this bitch.
Yeah, they checked her credentials afterwards because that's what they do for people like him.
A lot of blacks still suffer from a slave. Thank you, Roger. A lot of blacks still suffer from a slave mindset, Zach. And it's unfortunate. I think what happened with you is that you saw whatever title you saw that day, and you said, I bet I could get that nigger to follow me. Hear me out. Let me talk, Zach. Hey, let me talk. I think I could get that nigger to follow me. I think I can persuade him to believe in what I believe in because what I say is right. And I've met a lot of whites like you. You have you can't be corrected. Nobody, it's everybody's fault other than yours. And I've seen your type of whites. You're an interesting case study. But see, I think the problem with you and your obsessive nature with me is that you're trying to figure out why. I'll let you talk, Zach. Stay on mute. I'll let you talk. Let me finish. I'm gonna land the plane in a minute. I think the obsession you have with me, Zach. See, you unmuted yourself, and I told you about the mute. Okay, don't hang tight, Zach. Hang tight. I think the obsession you have with me and what makes you keep coming back. Because yesterday you told me, you said your wife said I was a piece of shit, which I don't believe she said. I think you said it. And well, she's an Oriental woman. I never heard them talk like that. So it's hard to believe that an Oriental was talking like that. But anyway, I really believe, Zach, that you're wondering, why doesn't Chaotic, who's a black man, think like other blacks? But the difference between me and other blacks, Zach, and I gotta admit this, I'm very open-minded. And I'm gonna land the plane in about a minute or two. Not only am I open-minded, Zach, I did something many years ago that a lot of people haven't done. I took 7 grams of psilocybin mushrooms, which is called the heroic dose. And my reality was split into infinite possibilities, and my ego was destroyed. What little ego I had, I was never really a boisterous person. Zach, your ego has never been destroyed. You have a I'm white and I say so mindset. And I really believe somewhere in your subconscious, you have this viewpoint, particularly of blacks, like they should listen to me and what I say. And that's what I really believe about you. And I land my plane on that. Go ahead, Zach. You got the floor, buddy. You got the floor.
Can you allow me to share my screen so I can show you my channel analytics? Can I share my screen so I can show my channel analytics? Because you've done this the whole time. Say that only little kids watch my channel. Can we put up my stats for my channel?
I never said little kids.
Okay, so let's look. The majority group is 35 to 44. So our age group. Okay, so you're wrong about that. You've said it over and over. That I guarantee Zach's audience is all under 20. You've said that numerous times.
I'm pretty sure they're black, though, so
okay. Okay, but you saw the majority of the audience was actually older than me.
I saw it, buddy. I saw it.
Okay, now, hold on. You said I'm obsessed with you.
You're obsessed.
CT, how many videos have I done with you in the thumbnail? How many videos have you done? Gematrians, this, and since you found out about me 2 months ago, half of them, half your videos.
You haven't put me in your thumbnail. You are correct. You haven't made any titles with my name on it, and you are correct. But I've seen you talking about me a dozen times, Moxie.
Well, Moxie, pass because I bring it up because you're an example of a human being that is common in our society. Your ego has not been destroyed.
What kind of human being am I?
You cannot admit you're wrong. Your ego does not allow you to admit you're wrong. You're like my sister. My sister's just like you. My sister, no evidence makes any difference to her. You said yourself yesterday, CT, and you said it before. You said, nothing will ever make me believe in gematria. That came out of your mouth yesterday, and it's come out before. So no evidence is going to change your mind.
CT. But Zach is upset because you're making money and he's not.
I think Zach is making money.
Not as much as you. He's jealous.
Are you jealous, Zach?
I'm not jealous. I'm disappointed. CT. Here, I'm going to finish up here and then Gematria Sucks can go. But listen, CT. Your video popped up in my feed at the time of the election about baiting liberals, right? And I remember I came on here and you said, are you a liberal? And I said, no. But I did explain that I consider myself a traditional liberal, which just means open to change.
I remember.
And then I was telling you about how years in advance, how we saw that they were going to put Trump back in. And I was giving you some of the old stuff we talked about in the recent rituals. And I found out you're a Cleveland guy because I was talking about what they're doing with Cleveland. He said, oh, I'm from Cleveland. That reminded me that Gary the Numbers Goon's also from Cleveland. I wonder if you guys know each other. But, you know, Gary, he has a big 33 on his arm. He gets to go on TV in Cleveland sometimes.
Let Zach finish. Go ahead. I don't know.
All right, but CT, the only thing, what I do doesn't have to do with race. I expose how the media targets darker complected people. Just like I was telling you, that go look at the memorial in Vietnam for the disproportionate amount of black men that were killed, you know, where they were sent over there on 3-8.
Hey, Gematria, hang tight. Let Zach finish. He's going to raise quit any minute now, so it doesn't even matter. Let him finish. Go ahead, Zach.
No, I came on here and I gave you honest information, and I appreciated that we had a conversation that day, but I saw by the second time I was on here, I was like, oh, this isn't a genuine person. Because you're already saying things like this. You're like, I'm never going to believe in any of this. It's like, it's evidence-based. You don't have to believe in it. It's either you deny the facts or you don't. And again, that's that quote. You can't convince a believer of anything because their opinions aren't based on evidence and facts. This is based on what they believe in. And you use the word believe all the time. But CT, you trying to make all this stuff about racism and compare me to Jim Jones, all of this stuff is disingenuous, it's dishonest, it's evil, it's off base. Dude, I put out knowledge to help people see how we are being lied to, the real agendas that are here to depopulate and keep us divided. I see you participating in a lot of those agendas. For our friend over here, Razgirl, you know, I just saw her on here for the first time the other day. I saw she's all caught up in that racial stuff. And I know why we're in this racial stuff. They bait us in so many ways. I'm trying to do the opposite of what you're trying to do over here. You're trying to instigate division. I'm trying to bring unity. And like I told you, when I was in Buffalo, I had the Hebrew Israelites telling me I was white boying in the wrong neighborhood. And I had an older man tell me if I didn't get out there, he's going to come shoot me. Hey, eventually, when they heard me out, we became like friends. I was in that community for almost a whole week. We were out there talking on the street day and night, day after day. And it started off with some of these guys were threatening to hurt me, shoot me. And it was all just because of the color of my skin. When I first, I mean, you had to think about it. They blamed it on a white supremacist, the shooting. So that was a racial component. But I went there to bring knowledge and healing. And I explained to them why we had that date circled for months in advance. Why on Israel's 74th birthday, they were going to do something like this, some kind of killing, some kind of racist event. Because I've always made the same point that these people, again, the synagogue of Satan in Revelation, it says those who claim to be Jews but are not. Again, you look into the text, the darker complected people are the original Hebrews. So the Hebrew Israelites aren't all the way wrong. And that's not me trying to suck up to black people or be a Jim Jones. That's me looking at the information that's out there. And for everybody who has a Bible, you can open up Revelation 1:14 right now and read the only physical description of Jesus and the whole thing. It describes a man with skin burnt like brass, that would be darker, and hair like wool. And what I'm pointing out is every year around Christmas time, you have all of these darker complected people just dying. You got a young rapper out of Atlanta right now. Like I said, you got the first black CEO. You act so... See... I don't know how you can call yourself truth because the truth seems to irritate you and annoy you and you don't want to hear about it. How can you not care? Or here, CT, let's close out with this. Just one simple thing without even numbers. Do you not find it funny in history that Tupac just happened to die on Caesar Borgia's birthday, where white Jesus comes from, and then they rush out the Machiavelli album, play on Machiavelli, who wrote The Prince, based on Caesar Borgia? I know I told you this when I first got here. Again, and people can look it up, right after Prince died, something we predicted the day Vanity died, the day of the 58th Grammys, the day that Prince died, not long after that, was Machiavelli's birthday on May 3rd. That was the day they announced Tupac's mother's death. And I still remember when I told you that. I had some person came on your panel after I left, and they said, oh, he's a liar. Tupac's mom died the day before that. I even specified she did die May 2nd, but it was announced on the news on the real Machiavelli's birthday, May 3rd, 5-3, just like that album came out 53 days after his death. You don't find any, what do you just think all this stuff's a coincidence?
Zach, okay, let me ask you a question. Why should I care about Tupac?
The ritualism of his death. What continues to go on with the killing of black men around the time of Christmas and Easter.
Zach, why should I care about Tupac, sir?
I just said the ritualism and how it's impacting other people. how they continue to do this, how they continue to kill black men in these Jesus tributes when the only physical description of the Bible of Jesus is someone who looked a lot more like Tupac than Caesar Borgia.
I told you, I don't know anybody in my life that's ever been killed, and I know a lot of black people. Do you realize that a lot of this shit in the media doesn't affect me? Because it does. I mean,
What's on your head right now? You tell me the media didn't get that cap on your head?
Zach, you're doing it again. But
Look at that cap on your head.
hold on, Gematria, let me do this real quick. You're doing it again, Zach. You're saying trigger words. Oh yeah, that'll get him. Tupac. I don't give a fuck about Tupac. Yes, was he a great rapper? Yes. I care about blacks who are in positions of power. I care about blacks who are scientists, mathematicians. Tell me when tell me when Sylvester James Gates gets killed. Then I rock with you. I don't care about Tupac.
What do you think about the one at the Buffalo Tops who supposedly figured out how to make the car run on water? Do you think that was just a BS story?
I will admit that. I did. Now that I will admit, that was kind of funny that he was working on that piece of technology, and yeah, I'll meet you halfway.
Well, you got to think, CT. I want you to think about that.
I'm gonna meet you halfway with that. Don't go in on me, but I'll meet you halfway with that. Go ahead.
But see, this is the thing. You're constantly sitting here attacking people of your own race because you're saying they don't have enough.
I'll attack whites too.
Fair enough. But again, you really do lay it out on your own race, and you make it seem like black people are inadequate and lesser. Do you disagree with that?
No.
You do this. But again, you're looking at it through this lens. But by the way, both of your parents must be black and they're doctors, correct?
Sir, can we not talk about my personal?
Okay, well, I'm just going to say, I mean, that's impressive. That shows that you have intelligent parents.
No, my parents are cafeteria workers. Go ahead, sir.
I thought you said they were doctors.
Okay, go ahead, sir. You got the floor, buddy. You got the floor.
Hey, in that video where you show off your frat tattoos, you do say both your parents are doctors.
Oh my God! Come on, Zach? Come on, man. Come on. I don't like when people talk about your family. I don't.
Hey, you asked me what my parents did. I told you. I said my mom cleaned houses and my dad drives a truck. Not a semi, but a small. He ended up driving the bus in more recent years. But okay. Hey, there's a video online where you said your parents were doctors. Okay.
Zach, whether they're doctors or not, can we just move on with the conversation?
Okay, well, I was going to say, that shows your parents are intelligent. And you know what? I knew a young black man growing up, and both of his parents were doctors. So I don't believe this thing that there's a difference in intelligence and race. I think it's all about opportunity, getting the right teachers, having access to the right resources. Again, I used to teach in South Seattle, and when I started in that classroom, the teacher they had to start the year thought they were a bunch of losers and didn't put any love into them. Hey, I had them achieving above the average state test scores, a room of black and a lot of foreign students. The point is, you are looking at it through this lens of you're looking at the whole world through the lens of the media. It's this same media that tries to demonize black people. You and I are the same age. When we grew up we're on opposite sides. You're in Cleveland. I'm on the West Coast, but hey, I remember the nightly news growing up. It was almost always some scary thing about some wanted black man out there that did this, some anonymous black man with some real vague descriptions like, oh, that could be any black man in the whole city. Again, the media has done this, demonized the culture of people. There are real agendas targeting black community. Commercialized hip-hop music targeted the black community with all these bad ideas.
What does that have to do with me or Rise Girl or Vic on the
Because you're sitting here beating up on a community that's been targeted for destruction by a very evil group of people, and then you get mad at me for a guy for exposing how they do this like a system?
But Zach, I appreciate. Do you mind muting when you mute your sound when we speak, it won't echo. Can you do that, please, Zach? Thank you. I appreciate your sentiments and what you're saying and the things that you say. I don't hate you because of your skin color. I don't hate you at all. But there are people like you who use the issues in the black community to try to side with us and to be on our team. You said that it's not about race. It is about race. It's about the black race and the opportunities that are afforded to them, the opportunities that are given to them, and the systems that are set up so they don't receive those opportunities. So thank you for the things that you do in this community. But I do side with Chaotic and what he's saying about you in regards to that. But you're saying that it's nothing about race. This has nothing to do with gematria or numbers. This has to do with the opportunities that communities, minorities, and people are given and how they have access to it. That is set up by a system. That system is white America that we are living in.
Let me read the super chat real quick. Thank you so much. Imperious with the $2 super chat. The only thing Zach spread is booty to do. Come on. Bob says CT is running a game on Zach. Something fierce. Zach, why are you so annoyed at this lying, disgusting, capitalistic pig? He's talking about me. Bob says Roz looks like she's looking at a male synchronized swimming contest. And Bob with the $5 super chat. Zach, CT is a poser. He pulled out a wad of cash with a 20 wrapped around 51. Go ahead, Zach. You got the floor, man. I'm listening to you, man.
Bob is easily your biggest fan. You should be able to afford a new mic just because of Bob. Raz Girl, listen, I understood what you just said, but this same oppressive system, it's impacting people of all race. And I'll agree. Some races are getting targeted more. But you can't just look at somebody and assume you know everything about them because of the color of their skin. You know, there's black people that come up in affluent white neighborhoods. And then there's people like me. Yeah, there's people like me who used to be the only white kid in the neighborhood.
But
So
I haven't heard you speak on that. You're constantly speaking on the black people who you feel like we should be relating to. Those people who listen to Tupac. Every black
hold on. I didn't say anything about people who listen to Tupac. I'm talking about
you're demeaning a subgroup in our black community. You're talking about people being shot every day in communities. You're saying things like black men are getting shot on Christmas and during Christmas and Easter time from gematria, and how those numbers roll around. Like, no, black men are getting shot every single day.
Listen, you need to please look up the song Murder by Numbers by The Police about how killing is the sport of the elite, and it's as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3. Look up the song Gematria, the Killing Name, similar topic. Look up Agatha Christie's novel, The ABC Murders, killing by this code of ABC is 1, 2, 3. What I'm saying is you look at the ritualism of these deaths. The reason Tupac's death matters is because he died on Caesar Borgia's birthday, where white Jesus comes from. That's who white Jesus is modeled after, the son of a pope. And then they rush out the Machiavelli album with him on the cross like Jesus when Machiavelli wrote The Prince based on Caesar Borgia. This isn't about if you like Tupac or
symbolism there, definitely.
And I'm telling you, right after Prince died, then Tupac's mom's just announced dead days later on the real Machiavelli's birthday.
What does this have to do with us, Zach? What does this have to do
Here, since your real focus is foundational black Americans, and the leader of that who talks about how black people have a special essence, I don't know that that is true or false. But, like I said, the fact that they do all this ritualistic murder of killing black people, if they're harvesting some kind of energy from this, is it possible that what he's speaking to isn't too far off from the truth? And there is a reason that they do this. So
how about this? Let's meet you halfway. If there is energy from blacks that they are absorbing, what are they doing with the energy? Is that a good honest question? You say
using it to control society? Because is it not true that this same group of people uses black people to essentially dominate the world with entertainment? I mean, are black people not the greatest component of the world of entertainment, which is one of the main things that everyone's focused on?
No idea about the entire world. I mean,
okay, here, can we be honest?
In America, definitely. Yes, in America, definitely.
Hey, in America's influencing the world. Can we agree that black people have been the most culturally influential in the world of music?
I don't know about the world, Zach. I just know about America. I don't know. I mean, I've never been.
Listen, again, America's music is the most sought out culture in the world. So we're talking about this time period.
Go ahead.
What statistics on that?
Go ahead, Zach. You got the floor, buddy.
Okay, but again, you'll say like, I don't care about black music. I care about black engineers and science. You have to realize though, music is one of the most powerful things in this world. It is used to move people. There's a reason they're playing it in every building. It makes people shop. It influences their behavior. That's why they created this commercialized gangsta hip hop to instigate people into this behavior, and then they end up becoming part of the prison industrial complex. Hey, by the way, Eazy-E, that's another major 201 death in history, synced up with Ice Cube's Lethal Injection album. You can roll your eyes, but were there not 201 men in the Tuskegee group? Are there not multiple people who've come out and spoke out that Eazy-E was pricked with something right before that all went down? This stuff's all out there. Eazy-E did die in a major 201 ritual. And again, years later, when they're doing Event 201, I still remember Idris Elba came out in the beginning of this. And Idris Elba, they had to use a Hollywood entertainer. Idris Elba, he comes out and he says, listen up, Black America. A lot of you guys talking about all this funny business, conspiracy theory crap online. This is serious. And we're going to die the most from this. We need to get the jab the first when it comes out. Again, using a black entertainer to get this message out early before the thing was even there. And then America even had to show you who was the first vaccinated person. A black woman, Sandy Lindsay, on the anniversary of Sandy, H-O-O-K, another shooting story.
But Zach.
Why but Zach? Is it not true that there were 201 men in the control group in the Tuskegee experiment?
But there were also other experiments done in this country, man, on people.
Okay, here, tell me one with black Americans more notable than Tuskegee.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it was just something that was more emphasized in the schools, man.
So I have a question.
I don't know, man.
The purpose of Gematria is to spread the truth, I believe, right? So you're speaking out all these things that happen, all these incidents, all the symbolisms. Are you guys able to prevent us or enrich us on possible things that will come to pass that could happen? Like, is that what the purpose is?
Darius with the $5 super chat. Zach, is this related to coin jail? Pro's Black Messiah documents. MLK, Malcolm X were on those papers. Zach, what about the MK Ultra experiments on the American population?
We've talked about MK Ultra on here. I know you're busy paying attention to your chat. I don't think you listen very well. Let me answer her question, then do MK Ultra. Right, let me answer her question. But we already talked about this. We literally talked about this.
But Zach, it's that shit right there. You know, it's that I'm white and I say so.
That's not I'm white and I say so. We talked about MK Ultra.
You don't even know that you're doing it. It's I'm white and I say so. You don't even listen.
Listen, I'm an arrogant asshole. That's a fact. But here. Razgirl just asked me, can we use this to predict stuff? Absolutely.
How come you didn't predict the plane crash?
I can't predict plane crashes, but I can predict, for 5 years, I was a broken record about how big of an agenda was coming in 2020 because of the 19-year cycles. These people do major things in 19-year cycles. This airline crash today is of a 19-year-old company today. The last one we just talked about that crashed today was 19 years to the day of the last one, like it almost. Well, it's 2 days off 19 years. Again, there is ritualism in what they do. 19-year cycles are important, as I've explained, because the moon's on a 19-year cycle. Thomas Jefferson said at the beginning of this country, if you don't revolt every 19 years, you will lose your rights and liberties. I never understood why that was until more recently researching this. I'm like, I see what they do now. 19 hijackers on 9/11. You lose your rights and liberty in the war on terror. You lose your bodily sovereignty over C-19. 19 years before 9/11 was the war on drugs. A lot of people gave up rights and liberties in that, and a lot of people that looked like you ended up in cages. And also, cops came out shortly after that and made people like, oh yeah, this is cool watching cops kick in people's doors and ruin their lives over what they were doing in the freedom of their own house. Again, I'm showing you how these agendas work, and most of America's just cheering it on, falling for every agenda. You're a bad person if you don't get the pokey doke. Now they're not here anymore. They got a heart murmur. They got myocarditis. You're a bad person if you don't put a yellow bumper sticker on your car and support the war on terror. Now you got all these homeless young people that are mad because they went over to the Middle East and ruined their lives and killed innocent people, and they know it, and they know they were lied to. Again, as long as people continue to go along with the lies and agendas and not see the way the game's played, our whole life is going to continue to deteriorate.
Can you do me a favor real quick? Is your wife home?
She is.
Can you have her? I mean, you don't have to have her on camera. I would like to hear her call me a piece of shit. I just don't believe she called me that. I think it was you that called me a piece of shit.
Listen, I'll tell you, she did. She's gonna be mad at me again because she did make me promise that I would not go on there anymore. She does not like you. She doesn't think you're a gent. Listen, she didn't call you. I'll be honest. She didn't call you a piece of shit, and she didn't make the comment about your jacket. I added that on, but she does not like you, and she thinks you're a clown.
Why not?
Because she sees what you're doing. She thinks all you're trying to do is make people hate and divide each other and be a racist. That's what she sees. She makes that she doesn't because when your panel's on here, half the time they're cussing each other and calling each other this N-word and this. She hears that in the other room. She's like, "What kind of show is that you're watching?" I say, "Well, the only reason I'm watching right now is because they're also slandering me."
Where is she from?
She's from Myanmar, aka Burma.
So she monitors your behavior, basically.
We're in the same house. We don't have a big house.
I'm just asking.
So let me get this straight. She's
asking for a friend.
Hold on. She doesn't like me because she thinks that. Hold on for a second, guys. She thinks that this panel is just nothing but a race baiting panel.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Does she hate like the drug dealers in the black community?
Listen, her understanding of America and culture is very limited. I don't think she even knows about drug dealers in black communities, to be perfectly honest.
Does she hate like Sexy Red? Does she hate her?
I don't even think she knows who Sexy Red is.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, what am I doing that is so bad for the black community? I'm just trying to figure that out. What am I doing that's really bad?
When she hears people just screaming N-word, this and that, she's like, "What is that? That sounds like a bunch of evil people." And see, Chaotic Truth, when I first came to your show, I was not aware of what you were. I just saw the topic of the day. I will, when something pops up in my feed that interests me, I will click on it and watch. And I saw how you were just hopping people on. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get on there and share and see how they respond. And the first time, you were fair. But then the very second time I came on, I heard you say things like, "This is bullshit. I'll never believe this." And I was like, oh, he's one of these types of people.
Well, it is. To me, my perspective is bullshit. I mean, I have a right.
Which doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't make any sense.
Did your wife hate the British?
So listen, the British. So for people don't know, Burma and Myanmar, small country. They have the longest ongoing.
I know what Myanmar is, sir.
Most people don't though. They were big in the news February 2021 because their government was overthrown by the military.
Zach, I'm asking you a question. Does your wife hate the British? Does she hate the British whites who raped her homeland?
So I'm making the point that country Burma is divided into 7 major areas. It's as big as Texas, the nation, but the area she's from was pretty much colonized by the British, and they even gave them their language. It's the Christian section of Burma, and that's where they pulled a lot of the refugees from, and you can understand how this works. You see how these colonizers and mixing up the world, huh?
Hate the British. That's what I'm asking you, bro. Does she hate the British whites?
She doesn't hate anybody.
But she hates me.
She doesn't hate you. She doesn't understand why I would ever watch a show where everyone's calling each other the N-word and all these other names on here.
Interesting.
Okay, hold on. We show this show in the average family in America. You think they're going to like watching everyone call each other N-words and all this stuff?
People would like to watch this show just as much as they like to watch an action movie with people getting killed.
Some people will like your show.
Yeah, I think that people will love the show. I mean, what is the show doing? Well, I mean, there's no pornography over here.
Well, again, I could argue that what you're doing is worse than pornography.
Well, I mean, other than Rod's Girl and Rock smoking their weed, there's no drug usage.
There's nothing wrong with smoking weed.
Making a joke, Zach, what do I do over here that's that bad? I'm trying to figure that out. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this another way. What do you feel that you do over here that's positive?
I allow an open panel of everybody, of all the likes of people.
I'll agree with that. That's what I like. That's what I like. Okay. I do like that you let people get up here and speak, but listen, you've been honest too. And the second time I came on, see, honestly, CT, I never would have came back after the second time, but you've continued to put Gematria in at least 50% of your video titles. Almost every poll you do is about me or the work. Let's not lie. That pulls me back in. Plus, I got people, I haven't caught everything done, but you constantly got people coming on here and slandering me, and like Greg, the criminal, who just lies about everything. Cuts, who's a total weirdo. I have to.
About something personal, I always stop it, bro.
I've had people trying to slander my name the whole time I've been here, lying about me. It gets old. So, again, like anybody, I will defend my name. I won't do it anymore after today, though. I would like to see that. Listen, I wouldn't here if you want in the future like make fun of my videos or show what you think stupid. I'm open to that, but I don't like the BS that you do because you had a guy come on yesterday in yesterday's stream. He had an avatar with a dude with gold teeth, but I thought that was a bad moment for you because he came on and he called you something. He said, all you do is hate on people like us. And you're like, how do I do that? And then like in 30 seconds, you came out of your mouth. You're like, I hate black people or something. He's like, see? And I was like, wow, I can't believe CT just fell for it like that.
What is he saying that I don't like my own people have to do with you?
But CT, the point I'm making is.
No, I'm asking you. What, if I say I don't like black people, what does that have to do with you? You're not black. I'm black.
Well, you said in this stream you don't like anybody. Here,
yeah, I'm an equal opportunity. Yeah, but I'm trying to figure this out. This obsession with you with black people is like.
No, I'm just making the point that what I realized the second time I was on here is debating you is not really. It's not an intellectual challenge. You're not good at debating. There's no substance to anything you say, CT.
There's no substance to what you say.
Bullshit. Hey, that's bullshit. Because listen. I already told you I can't predict plane crashes, but I told you to look out for 38. Hold on.
What is the use of Gematria if you can't?
See, this is disingenuous. 2 days before Christmas, I told you specifically to watch for 38 in death between Christmas and New Year's, and it happened in spades again because it goes on every year.
I can make up some number right now.
But I didn't make up a number. The reason I knew to say that is because they do it every single year.
I can make up a number right now. Let's say 47, right? In 3 days, 47 is going to be significant. At 147, somebody got shot 2 days from now. Hopefully not. 47 people will be in a train accident. Bro, I can make up any goddamn number too if something will happen in 3 or 4 days with that number.
But then is there going to be over the next several days, are there going to be several stories like that with that exact number? Because that just happened with 38, like I told you about.
On this planet of 8 billion people, I'm pretty sure.
Come on, CT. These are the biggest stories in the news right now. CT, by the way, 47 is a special number. That's why I got that behind me. The name of this company with this plane crash, the name of that company equals 47. You want to guess how many days after the leader of the Jesuits' birthday it was that it happened?
47.
Yeah, exactly. So are we just going to... see, that's the thing, CT. Every time I show you these things, you're just like, that's another coincidence. That's another coincidence. And you're a personality type. See, I want to win... Here, that's the one other reason I come back here. I want to win. I want to figure out how to win over people like you because I'd say you represent at least half the populace. You represent at least half the populace.
You're not going to win me over, bro, because the thing of the matter... You know why? I'm going to read Super Chats in a bit. Zach, listen. Okay, let me put you on mute. You got an echo. Zach, I said it earlier, bro. I believe that you have carried over an imaginative story into your adulthood. There is no Santa Claus. Hear me out. Just hear me out. This is what I believe, bro. You're trying to fill in the void. Whatever that void is, I don't know. If you really wanted to fight the Jesuits, you would actually be fighting the Jesuits. The problem with you, Zach, is if somebody were to capture the Jesuit, Vic, if I came out, Vic, and I got the Jesuit right here, I caught the Jesuit, you wouldn't have anything to live for. And I think that's what the whole hero's journey is. It's this constant fight for something. I think a lot of this, bro, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I would even argue the same thing with religion to a degree. If I were to build a machine that would rip apart the space-time continuum and, hey, I'm going to go into hell and capture the devil, I'm telling you, people would try to kill me because there would be no purpose anymore. Bro, I'm telling you, man, I really believe, bro, that there are no Jesuits that are controlling the strings of reality. There are no secret Jesuits that are shooting down planes or manipulating sports outcomes. I just think it's something that you're just trying to fill in. You've created like an enemy character, the Jesuits. And it's something to live for, something to fight for, strive for. And I get that, bro. And that's one thing I do respect about what you are doing and other groups of people. You need an enemy. You want to feel like a man. You're living in your, comfy home, comfy street. You want to have, you're yearning for a fight. And there are no more fights anymore. And I think that's one of the problems with a lot of Western men. And you're never going to win me over, bro. I just don't believe in this shit. Now, can you call in here and talk about it? Or you can talk about it all day if you want. I'm just going to look at it like comedy.
Well, let me interject something you just said. You just said there's no more fights. There's a major fight right now in America for rights and liberties and truth. We have been lied to the entire 21st century for all of our adult lifetime, CT. We're the same age. Again, you could have ended up in those wars in the Middle East fighting over a major lie. You could have ended up submitting to the pokey doke had your life circumstances been different. You might have been in one of these jobs that you didn't want to give up, and you got the pokey doke, and now you got myocarditis at worst. These things will continue to happen. You could have been working in an office in the World Trade Center. Again, these things that are going on, hey, we live in a nation where until just recently, and it was 201 days after the Pope's birthday, they took down that 19-foot tall stone monument, the monument dedicated to world depopulation, that said they want to limit the Earth's population to 500 million. Again,
what's wrong with that?
CT, you could end up being part of this. We don't know how fast this can move.
So what?
So you don't.
Life got better when Thanos did this.
Maybe life should be reduced. Maybe certain people shouldn't be here.
So
I agree with depopulation, to be honest.
Well, hey, again, I'm on the record saying I do too, because I'm fed up with people and their dishonesty and their lack of care and concern for anything but themselves. CT, you express exactly what they want. You want somebody who hates everyone, who's given up on the world. You said you used to be a teacher and your greatest moment was telling your classroom they're a bunch of monkeys. Yes. CT, you're what they want everyone to give up on the world and hate everyone. That's what this is about every day. This constant negativity and fear and hate this group and
taught 30 black ass kids.
Huh?
You're projecting that.
30 teenage black kids. You eventually called them some monkeys eventually.
No, I never did. I did teach in a black school. I taught at Van Asselt in South Seattle. For anybody who wants to look it up.
Zach, a question, CT.
Go ahead, American man. Go ahead, please. Go ahead. And I got to read super chat.
Zach, so you said that the second time, can you mute your mic, please, the echo? You said the second time you were on here, CT said that he's not going to believe in gematria. Then you keep saying, I tried to tell you. Why are you so interested in him caring about what it is you say?
I answered that question if you were listening.
Here's another thing. Do you have this much interest? Because you want to save the world, right? Not just black people. You want everyone to know. Do you go to white panels and try and sit down for hours to convince white people? Do you go to Hispanic panels and sit down for hours and convince Hispanic why gematria is harming all of us?
No, you don't.
Hold on. To answer the question, I never saw this as a racial panel. Obviously, the host is black, but it's always a diverse panel. And second of all, everything you just asked, I did answer, including, I forgot to come back to MK Ultra, which we covered as well, CT. But American Man, I said it's because he continues to make at least half of his videos about me and this work ever since he came across me. And there continues to be people who hop on here. Almost every time I tune in, somebody comes on that has to slander my name. The guy who's lifting weights, Greg, is a career criminal who spent time harassing my wife, who goes online and lies about me, makes reports to the feds about me, the IRS. You guys should all ask yourself this. Why is there so many resources dedicated to harassing and trolling me, which has been the case for over 11 years now? I've had to deal with a lot of weird stuff. I had somebody threaten to kill me on Christmas Eve 2016. I had a car crash through 2 walls of my house that night. I've dealt with a lot of weird stuff.
Zach, okay, buddy. Why should we care?
You should care about knowledge if it can improve your position in the world and help you not become a part of agendas, but also become part of the solution to stopping these agendas from going on in the future. That's why I do this work.
Hold on. You said something. So we should care about your knowledge, right?
It's not mine. No. It's not my knowledge.
American Man, real quick. Can you do me a favor before you finish? Can you just count how many... Now, Zach, you said you came on what show again, Zach?
It was just after the election.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. so I can't see how many videos.
Here, we go to November.
CT, go through the titles.
No.
How many say Gematrians? How many polls are up for every stream about Gematria?
Here we go, November 4. Now let's go to, you said after the election. Oh, you must talk about this one. Okay, so this, you called in November 8th. Okay, so here goes a video. Our foundational Black Americans headed for a holy war over the Majara spirit. Gematria is not mentioned in this one. Did Trump's presidential win? Okay, so I do mention numerology. Okay, so then you got one right there. Okay, Trump picked Kristi Noem for Homeland Security. So Gematria is not mentioned here. Trump's defense pick. Gematria is not mentioned here. Trump picks RFK as the head of the Homeland Security. Should FBA's intelligence be afraid? No mention of Gematria.
But again, CT.
No, you have the videos. No, I want.
It is true because the polls that you put up.
I got the goddamn. What are you talking about? I got the back of my studio right now.
The polls you put up and the stuff you talk about.
Sir, I don't think half of my videos, or even a third of them, have been about you. I mean, truth be told, a lot of them has been about Tariq Nasheed, to be honest with you.
How many of your videos are at GematriaEffectNews and you're talking about me in the stream and the poll has a question? Come on.
I'm in my studio now, bro. It's like, you not see it highlighted? It's the end near Biden's moves, the predictions for FBAs and rural whites.
Here, CT, honestly, in what percentage of these videos did you not talk about me or my work?
I'm white and I say so even when I'm in the studio. Go ahead, bro. I'm white and I say so.
Zach, so if someone mentions Gematria, that's exclusive to you.
Ask your man CT how many times he talked about this before I came here.
I'm asking you. He just went through the studio. If someone mentions Gematria, that's exclusive to you.
He will bring up my name in relation to me.
Zach,
redundantly.
It's okay, buddy. We don't need you to save us. We don't care about your Gematria. You're not saving anyone. Whatever blacks that you're grifting on, if they think you're special, you salute them and you move on from here. We don't care about you. You are not important. The blacks that follow your grift, good for you.
Yeah,
enjoy them.
Yeah,
Call them your people. Outside of that, you are not important, sir.
Yeah, move
Zach,
on. Zach, no offense, man. The reason why I do like talking about Gematria, it's really it's like comedy, bro. It's like like observational comedy, like what Seinfeld does, or it's like it's sort of like slapstick humor. And I think it's something I'm actually promoting you, to be honest with you, man. To be honest, I mean, I know you don't need it, but I don't mind promoting your channel. I mean, you got more followers than I do. To my followers, I don't give a shit. I just find you to be like me personally. I look at you as a comedian, and the same thing with Tariq Nasheed. I don't take you guys seriously, man. But it's out of love. I listen, bro. I don't take any of you people seriously. I'm gonna be honest with you. And American Man he's right. I don't think about you, Zach. I just think you're a funny guy, and you don't know that you were funny. But when you add, like, I even told your community, y'all need to go on a stand-up tour with this shit, and you would sell like small gigs, bro. This shit is funny.
Hey,
take yourself seriously.
Hold on, just real quick. Jimmy Carter's the breaking news.
Richie, he thinks he's important when he's not. Thinks he's serious, but he's just a funny character. That's who he is.
Yeah, says the guy who can't even put his face on the screen.
He's on the screen for years now, sir.
But again, you're listening to a voice of an irrelevant loser who doesn't know what he's talking about, who doesn't have enough intelligence to get it. So, again, Jimmy Carter just died, you guys. Hold on. Jimmy Carter just died. I've talked about this pattern with you. 177 and 201. These are two big numbers at the Jesuit order. His full name is 177. He's dead on 1229. 1229 is the 201st prime. Jimmy Carter. They wheeled him out at the beginning of the year looking like a vegetable on a dolly. Again, they waited until this very specific day with it's always full of 201 rituals to report his death. I don't think that's arbitrary. I'll look more into it, but that's the breaking news right now that Jimmy Carter's dead. Again, you guys, Klaus Schwab equals 177. That's the Jesuit who put on Event 201. Again, the Jesuit Order 177 and 201. The whole thing they just did with Hunter Biden. Massive 177 ritual. Hunter Biden born on the 35th day of the year, like JFK was killed 177 days from his birthday, number 35 on I-35. Again, you learn the knowledge I'm talking about. You start to understand why the first Catholic president is number 35, killed at age 46, when Catholic equals 35 and 46. Hey, we were pretty much the only people online who said why Joe Biden would become number 46 exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday and be inaugurated on the Pope's 35th day of his age. Exactly what happened. Again, the power of this knowledge is you see how rigged the game is. Just like we were way ahead of Trump winning in 2016, we were way ahead of Biden winning in 2020, we were way ahead of Trump coming back in 2024. We were on that as soon as he left office at the start of 2021. So again, you can keep holding your head and acting like it's dumb to know this, but knowledge is power. And seeing how rigged the game is and how we're being manipulated should keep you from participating in the rigged show.
Zachary, why is it that as soon as a black person tells you, a white liberal self-proclaimed savior, you don't matter, all of a sudden you gotta add
the fuck up.
Where am I a white liberal?
Why is that?
How am I a white liberal?
Why is that?
How am I a white liberal?
Sir, we listened to you long enough. You're a liberal.
In what sense am I a liberal?
And you're mad that CT doesn't want to follow your bullshit. You're mad at the black people.
No, I don't like disingenuous people.
He's mad at CT because CT's making money.
Okay.
And Zach is not.
Anyhow.
He cares about his bullshit.
Anyhow.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy.
Hey, I'll just let you know, I can afford mics that work, you know, for one.
I don't get into people's finances. That's not really important.
So again, just for a Gematria section, I'm just trying to put dumb arguments to bed. Every argument that's being presented here is easy to defeat in a second. You know, CT can't even afford a mic. But again, I spent enough time here. Hey, if you guys want to reject knowledge, join the rest of America. Hopefully it doesn't end up like, you know, it has for other societies in the past, because there's a lot of clues that we're being taken down, and it's coming sooner than later. For all you, here, one more thing just to think about. They had to give you Obama, his first movie that he had his name on had to be about the fall of America. Again, you guys, Leave the World Behind equals 192. Commodus is the name shown at the end of the film. Why don't you guys go look up what year Commodus died and how Commodus marks the fall of Rome. Commodus died in the year 192. And by the way,
I'm tired of him talking about your mic. I got one for you, brother. If you need it, I got one for you.
Thank you.
By the way, hey, hold on, one last thing. Commodus.
Zach, can I ask you a question, buddy?
Man, who cares about Commodus?
Hey, guys, give me 1 second. Let me ask you a question, Zach, before you leave. If you went in front of the American Medical Association, the AMA, which is the most respected medical professional organization, and you were talking in front of 1,000 people in a conference hall, what do you think they would view you as? Between me and you, man, what do you think their perception of you would be?
So let me answer that question.
You're using Gematria, and you're speaking to them about.
Let me answer that question. First of all, this doesn't matter because my brother-in-law is a doctor, and he used to make fun of me when I was a teenager the way I ate. He used to call it the FAG diet because I was mostly vegan. That's the way he eats today because he's on his deathbed, and he's not that old. So he's a doctor, and the reason he became a doctor is because he was born into a very wealthy family in Mercer Island, and he'll even tell you himself that he's not that smart, but his parents could afford for him to go to school. A lot of people who are doctors come from affluent families. So it doesn't matter if these people are doctors. A lot of them are indoctrinated and not that intelligent of people. My brother-in-law thought I was a Looney Tune for calling out what I was saying about the shots that were coming. Guess what? He got all those shots, and now he's got turbo cancers all throughout his body.
Zach,
Zach,
you know what the AMA is. So do I. So do a lot of people. If you went to an AMA conference, American Medical Association, and you were speaking in front of 1,000 people, I'm asking, what do you think that doctors would think about you?
Here's what I'd do. I'd bring my book, Number Games, which came out in the middle of 2020, and I'd hold it up to the room, and I'd say, listen, before you guys say I'm some Looney Tune or some crazy like my brother who's a doctor, I want you to read this book, and I want you to let me know if I said in this book when they will wind down the pandemic. And did I write that they will wind down this pandemic as soon as the year of the tiger comes around? Because that's exactly what I wrote in that book, and that's exactly what they did. And the reason I knew that was from this knowledge, and they were putting tigers everywhere. For the record, Tiger has that 201 connection. As soon as the year of the tiger came around, that's when the scandemic ended in the world. And again, I'll also point out in that book, I warned about what Bill Gates said at his 2010 TED Talk. For people who have not seen Bill Gates' 2010 TED Talk, Innovating to Zero, look it up and take the time to watch all of it because it'll blow your mind. But right in about the 5th or 6th minute, right near the beginning of the video, he talks about how we can depopulate the world. He says we have to reduce population to save the earth. And his very first thing on that list, you're not going to miss it, the clue is his foundation's right across the street from the world's biggest needle. And he said if we do this and we do a good job with this, we can reduce the population. We were out there March 13, 2020 in front of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation educating about that and Event 201. And so again, that's what I would do if I went in front of the AMA. I'd say, did any of you guys have this foresight? Did you know when they'd wind down this scandemic? How many of you got the shot and now have turbo cancers in the audience? Are you like my brother-in-law who thought I was a nutcase? Because it looks like I'm here healthy and doing just fine while he doesn't have that much longer to live. And ironically, what's funny about my brother-in-law, who is a little bit older than me, he was born in 62. I was born in 83, so he's actually 20 years older. But he was born the same year they put up the Space Needle. I almost feel like it's some kind of sad, sick irony. So that's what I would say.
I got people complaining about me not reading super chats. L with the $5 super chat. So Zach, who's the president in 2020?
I haven't done that research yet.
Bob says, Zach, this show works like this. The topic is the background. The show is the show itself. It's the only show where the panelists are the show, like you. Bob with the $2 super chat. This shit could be bigger than Rogan. Thank you so much. Mike from Boston says, call him a nigger already. Ready. Darius says, Zach, is this related to, already read that one. Bob says, Roz sent the X back to Peru. Guys, get the likes. 111, man, I got to kick you out of here until you pay that vulgarity tax. That's pretty disgusting for you to tell Zach to suck your penis. That's really I don't know why you guys even talk like that. That's really disgusting. So it's $25 for you to come back 111. You know I rock with you, man, but I got to implement the vulgarity tax.
What's good, Rod?
Like I think Zach is insane, but I'm not gonna personally disrespect him. That's disgusting, bro.
How you doing, Mama?
So hold on, let's close out on that, CT, because you said that yesterday.
You gotta turn your camera on, buddy.
Hey, how you doing, Mama?
Elohim, you gotta turn your camera on.
CT, let's close out on that. CT.
CT, I'm trying to think you're white, bro. I'm
Elohim. I'm dark skinned.
I think you're wearing blackface, bro. Blackface.
Elohim, I can make it dark skinned.
I think you got on blackface, CT. You got on blackface. Cause it's crazy just how racist you are toward your own people.
Elohim.
So
Elohim, we're the same race. I can make fun of my own people.
I just came to say hi to Ross girl. How you doing?
Hey Elohim, how come you didn't predict that South Korean
Hi Elohim, thank you.
Elohim, how come you didn't predict that jet that crashed? Thank you so much, Zach.
All right. Yeah, again, I mean, that guy does represent how so many Americans are. And yesterday, after, more examples of 38, after I get off, he's like, yeah, Zach's just a schizophrenic. It's just so annoying just watching these stereotypical people in our society think they're smarter and holier than thou. I mean, it's sad because 2 days before Christmas, I laid out for him 38 and death at this time of year because we talk about it every year. Every year, it's the same cycles. And then it happens, and he's like, well, it only would have mattered if you would have predicted that plane would crash there with 38 dead. It's like, dude, the point I'm making is about how the media is manipulating events, using numbers ritualistically, kabbalistically to create these negative vibrations in society. And then again, after the Christmas happens, then you got Parsons dead, then you got the boxer, and right after he breaks Mike Tyson's record 38 years. And again, everything he just has an excuse. He goes, well, I mean, boxers get hit in the head a lot. It's like, okay, how many Vander Holyfield's still going? Mike Tyson himself is still going. They got Mike Tyson boxing at 60, showing his ass the night of a full moon. He's still going. All these disingenuous arguments, but then they're the ones whose mental faculties are intact. It's just, it's maddening. So anyhow, let me say thank you to the super chatters. ZG said 137 days after August 15th. That's the Jeju Order's birthday. South Korea 137. Good one. Good one. Yeah. That adds to a ZG. Well done. Thank you. Truth Be Told channel said, hey, Zach, I would love to do an interview with you. I'm a small channel that wants to spread the truth. Hey, I'd love to do it. I always like to help out small channels. I'm bad about checking my email, but if you can send me, if you're out there and can send me an email right now, GematriaEffectNews. Actually, you know what? Do it the 25 channel because I get less email there. I have a GematriaEffectNews25@gmail.com. Send me an email there. GematriaEffectNews, just like the channel name, but all together. GematriaEffectNews25@gmail.com. We'll do a stream together. Happy to promote you. Dante Reed said, most deadliest Korean airline crash happened in 97. Yeah, plane crash 97. Now this one at 9:07. Come on, man. Great research, Dante Reed. Thank you again. Charles Shear, dead at 83. What do you know? December 27, 2024, a date with 83 numerology. They're using the term bird strike in light of the bird flu news. Interesting, interesting. Bird flu, planes crashing out of the air. Yeah. Bird flu associated with Asia. All right, got to look into that one more too, man. So much to keep up with. Sarah Sutherland said, when they can't find any other way to insult you, they call you racist. This is on behalf of the dummy in the red hat. Yeah, Sarah Sutherland, I mean, I don't know if you watched that channel before, but it's really unbelievable over there every day. L. Nelson said, with love from the Oriental Sam Whites. Thank you, L. Nelson. Zach, stop wasting time with this clown. Hey, I hear that, but at the same time, we have to figure out how to, or is it just impossible? I mean, are people like this impossible? You know? You can't convince a believer or nothing. You guys see what's going on in the flat earth community right now? Jeranism came out and said the earth isn't flat after, if you guys don't know this, some rich kid sent some flat earthers down to Antarctica. He paid $30,000 for each of their flights, and they got to witness the 24-hour sun, which was already on, I mean, it's been online. People have documented that 24-hour sun for a long time. Again, if you have common sense, it's easy to understand why the earth isn't flat just on basic descriptions. But people who don't have enough common sense have fallen for the flat earth slap. Anyway, there's a major fallout in this community right now. And again, I mean, just some of them, even after seeing this happen, they still can't accept that the earth is not flat when, again, you guys, there's a reason that no matter where you are on Earth, the sun rises due east. You guys should, when you look at your little flat Earth map with the sun circling around, that should tell you that depending on where the Earth was, the sunrise could be in all kinds of different places. And that's not the way it is. So just right away, just right there, you should understand the Earth's not flat and it's not that map. Anyway, but the point is, flat Earthers have been the example of this. They don't respond to evidence. It's all about belief. It's like a new religion. You know, the one thing that's probably fair to call it a cult is flat earth because they all have the same mantras. Water always finds its level, which is not true. Water can take on any shape. NASA means Hebrew or deceive in Hebrew, which is false. But these are all things in the flat earth terminology. They have a bunch of false ideas that they all regurgitate like it's true. Anyway, I got that up. I meant to have Jimmy Carter up here. My bad. But yeah, again, humanity has to figure out a way to break through this believer mindset that is not based on evidence. I mean, that is a great task because until humanity figured out how to do that, I feel like we're all going to get drugged to hell by the authorities who are the masters of psychology and indoctrination and controlling people from a young age. Until we figure out how to get people out of these religious spells, these, again, authoritarian spells, we're finished. So, I mean, that's part of the reason that I continue to have these battles with these people in an attempt to, can I gain something from this? Can I learn from some of this? Can there be some kind of breakthrough? It's like pulling teeth, but it's like it needs to be done. Jay Crew said, Zach, stop wasting your time with this effing clown. All right, he said it 2 times. CBT said, Jimmy Carter just died. Yeah, maybe another clue. Again, you guys, it's 1229, right? 1229, the 201st prime. Remember, there was a story a little before the election that Jimmy Carter was only living for the election. There it is, you guys. I already see it because I know Jimmy Carter equals 54 like Jesuit order. It's 54 days after the election. Jimmy Carter, 5472, just like Jesuit order 5472. He's died 54 days after the election. I think I have that on my thing about Jimmy Carter. That was the headline. He's only living for the election. And he's also died, 22 days before Inauguration Day. Let's see. Jimmy Carter votes in Georgia, fulfilling wish to live long enough to cast ballot for Kamala Harris. He did that on the day, leaving 76 days left in the year. We know where that fits in with Black history. But yeah, 54 days after the election, he's gone. And let's think about it. For Kamala, October 20th birthday, he voted early because they allow the early voting. That's how he voted on October 16th. Again, Black History Month since 76. Barack Obama, 76. But Kamala's birthday, October 20th, that's the day, leaving 72 days left in the year, like Jimmy Carter's 72. So he's died 70 days later. 70 from her birthday. I don't know if 70 was an important year in his political career. There might be something to that off the top. It'd be a span of 71 days, the old Catholic number. I'll do a short video on Jimmy Carter's death. A lot of people won't see this at the end of this video. And again, I mean, do you remember how long they made it seem like he was going to die when he first went in hospice care, which was a long time ago now. It was like 2 years ago. And remember when his wife went into hospice care? She died like the next day or 2 days later. Usually when you go into hospice care, you don't live very long. And they did wheel Jimmy Carter. Who did they wheel him out for at the beginning of this year? It was somebody's funeral. I forget whose funeral it was. I'm going to have to go back and look at what that was. It might be, he attended a funeral and they were wheeling him around on something. It was literally like a standing wheelchair. He was, it looked like he was on a dolly, but they were wheeling Jimmy Carter around and it looked like Weekend at Bernie's. I was like, he doesn't even look alive. Jimmy Carter does not look like he's alive right now. So, again, I mean, if he was alive, he was on an oxygen tank and one of those machines that keeps your heart pumping. I mean, he looked dead at the beginning of the year when they had him out in public. Do you remember years ago when they said they had the LAX mass shooting and they wheeled out literally a plastic dummy and put it on the national news? I mean, it didn't look much different than that. It was Jimmy Carter, but he looked like a vegetable. But yeah, here we go again, man. I mean, literally, he said he was only living to vote for the election, and it's literally 54 days after the election. Jimmy Carter, Jesuit order. And then you got clowns in the world that are like, bullshit. It's like, dude, this stuff's going on every day, and you're sitting here mocking it. You know, that's why they operate through this occult knowledge too, and they've indoctrinated people to think that the occult is stupid and these ancient world practices are stupid. This is all part of how they set up the system, because they know they got people under a spell. That people hear about it, they're like, oh, that's dumb. I learned about that in slave school. I mean, they don't say slave school. They don't realize it was slave school, but I learned about that in school. That was dumb. Why do you still believe that? I went to school and learned that was dumb. Like, yeah, you learned a lot of stuff in school that's not true and kind of made you dumber. Should have taught you about this in slave school. King Richard TV, Jimmy Carter, number 39, dead 39 days after Biden's birthday. Yeah, absolutely. Democrats. And that reminds me, when they called the election for Georgia, or for Biden in Georgia, it was perfectly synced with Jimmy Carter. I honestly can't remember if it was on the 44th day of Jimmy Carter's age or the 46th day. It was one of the two. Georgia's 44, obviously Biden was number 46. It was one of those two, and Joe Biden also equals 44. It might have been on the 44th day of Jimmy Carter's age that they called Georgia for Biden. You can go back and verify it, but yeah, Georgia does equal 44 like Joe Biden. And you know, you wonder here if somebody else could be next. The Jimmy Carter, or not Jimmy Carter, but the Gerald Ford prophecy could be next. Yeah, good one, King Richard. The only thing we can learn from CT's panel is that CT is short for CTE, brain damage panel. Yeah, truly. 58 weeks after his wife, Secret Society, Rosicrucian Freemasonry. Good one, Daria. Daria's always got the killer decodes, too. I appreciate all you guys who are very good at this and who also send in super chats. You guys, I've asked you a lot, and remind you guys a lot. You don't need to do it. You've already done enough for the community. But, hey, if I didn't have you guys, we probably wouldn't have any super chatters. So thank you again. Yeah, I think we got them all. Okay. Yeah, I'll put up a short video on Jimmy Carter. If anybody else has any observations about Jimmy Carter that we didn't make right here, feel free to leave a comment. If you leave a comment here in the live stream, it's not going to show up after the video, but once the video posts, you can leave a comment, and hopefully Google doesn't delete it because they do like to do that. You can always leave it on freetofindtruth.com, the free website. I hope, well, it's not free for me, but it's a free website for you to use where they will not delete, well, they, as in me, I'm not going to delete your stuff. If you guys want an archive record of posting information and doing these decodes, you can use my website. Got a lot of tools there. It's an expensive website. I wish more people would use it, and people would connect and collaborate and network. But yeah, it's a good place to do decodes and post information. And you know what? I should get in a better habit of using my own website. I mostly only use it to just let people know on there when I'm going live. Maybe that would bring more people there if I used my own website more. But there's just not a lot going on there. It's a very inactive space, which makes me sad. I continue to pay for it because I keep hoping that one day it's just going to take off and people will finally network and collaborate and pound payment together. And anyway. CBD says, can you think of a hidden hint in JC's death hinting Biden not finishing? Absolutely. 1229, 201st prime. What were we saying? Hold on. Biden passed the torch on July 21st. So there's a 201 coming up. Is it the last day of the year or is it the first day of the year? No, that's not it. Oh, shoot. What was it? Somebody had the observation about something that happened 201 days prior. It was either the last day of the year or the first day of the year. And now I'm going to have to go back and look at what that was. Remember, 1,229 days from them taking office, we got the death of Michelle Obama's mother. And then right after that, we got the news of the first female president in Mexico. I got to go back and look. Somebody had an observation about 201 in either the end of the year or the start of the year. So, but yeah, it's 1229, 201st prime. It's Texas's birthday as well, the Lone Star State. I don't know if Jimmy Carter had any history in Texas. Here, this guy right here. IDOOT. You yesterday, out of all the times I spent on CT's panel, you handled him better than anybody, and I mean that was a first round knockout. But I also heard you say you were mad. I don't know if you were really thinking about it, but you're like, I don't care about that gematria number bullshit. Hey man, you should look into what we're talking about here day after day because this is what's going on, and CT's either too dumb to get it or he's gatekeeping because I don't know what his agenda is. Repping the orange goon. Hating on his own people. I don't get it, And it seems like, well, who the hell is Bob just giving him money all day, every day, around the clock? Is Bob his handler? Like, who is Bob? Here, you know what? I am going to, I keep wanting to repair relationships with people in this community, but, so this comment, unfortunately, this is not false. In the middle of the night, this dude sends me a text message. It would have been like 3 a.m. his time. And you know what? He probably did mean to send it to me, but I'm hoping he has like a girl on his phone whose name is like Zach Ella or something, and he meant to send it to Zach Ella. But, I mean, just for all you guys who think like, again, there's all these people who've come around. Again, I did promote him in the beginning, and I helped build him up. But yeah, this is his text message in the middle of the night. Does this show up on the screen? He sent me this weird video, but listen, in the middle of the night to be sending this to another man, my dick never been this hard while learning unbelievable knowledge. What? Dude. I'm sorry, man. You don't text other men like that in the middle of the night. I'm sorry. And that guy recently has been trying to act like he's some kind of good cop and lying and slandering subtly. No. So. Okay. All right, yeah, I'm gonna do the Jimmy Carter video here in a minute. Again, thank you everyone who hits the like and the share, and again. I wish more people would use that clip video. Do you guys know that you can clip a section of a video if you just like it, like 30 seconds, a minute, and you can share it? Nobody hardly ever does that. I wish more people would. All right, you guys, we will leave it there. Till next time.